Hello everyone, my name is Dan Rampola and I'm with Rampola Strategic Solutions. I appreciate everyone hosting me here today as we discuss and review my consultation of Earth Coffee. So before jumping right into it, I want to give a brief overview of the things we're going to discuss, and those being the efficiency and effectiveness of managers, human capital resource management, strategic thinking, learning organizations, structure and culture, inclusive strategy, relationship building strategy, and to end it, I'm going to give a suggested management plan and a few things you guys could take with you and implement if you'd like. A little bit about me. I am a UMGC organizational management consultant. I have a master's in project management with 5+ years experience in consulting. I have a proven track record of delivering results and driving business growth for my clients. And now a little bit about Earth Coffee and how they dare to be different. So Earth Coffee is a coffee company that offers luxury ground coffee mixed with a premier blend of mushrooms that include reishi, lion's mane, and cordyceps. So the company was founded in 2020 by a group of 5 college students, and they currently have a functional organizational structure where each of the 5 college students owns its own function. And the mission of the company is to promote a healthy and sustainable lifestyle by providing a premium coffee experience while upholding the sustainable practices to minimize the environmental footprint and create moments of joy and connection with every cup. So after an initial review of the company, I put together these opportunities overview where we're going to go over some of the struggles and then some of the opportunities to improve those struggles. So some of the things that I noticed is that we have a rapidly expanding customer base, which is awesome, but our profits are not following. The profits are slowly increasing and they're even starting to get stagnant. So with that, we also have employees that are confused on the company path and goals. Employees are not sure who they report to in each of the functions, and we're struggling to keep up with demand due to a lengthy decision-making process. So some of the things we can do to improve that is develop our leadership structure, our goal alignment to the company values and the mission, as well as our manager communication and effectiveness. So now we're going to shift gears and talk a little bit more about management. So the first thing is efficiency and effectiveness of management. So we can become more efficient and effective by doing a few simple things. The first thing is planning ahead, making sure we have clear outcomes and goals. We need to align our team to these company goals, and we need to enable our team to make continuous improvements upon our skills and skill sets that we bring to the table. So effective managers are going to filter these actions, decisions, reactions, and plans through their leadership philosophy. So everyone's going to have their own philosophy. We just need to make sure we're consistent and help build up that reliability and trust that employees can have in you. And doing all these things will help increase that morale and increase productivity. Another important part of management is understanding your human capital resources. So the first question is, what is human capital? Well, that's all the skills, knowledge, and experience all your employees bring to the organization. So managing those resources is how you're going to be successful in the long run. So you need to understand what skill sets you have, where we're lacking in skills. And when we're hiring, we need to be thinking about how do we fill these gaps, and we need to be able to motivate our employees and retain them over the long term. So we all have a human capital plan in place, whether we realize it or not. But the thing that's going to help us move forward here is reevaluating that plan and consider different alternatives. And really the important thing here is having the ability to pivot when plans fail or are going to fail in the long term. And when you're looking at new plans, you definitely want to be creative in finding different solutions. You want to plan ahead and really become a systems thinker. Think outside the box. Think at the bigger picture. Don't be caught up in the smaller portions of your function, but also look at the company as a whole and how each function fits into the company as a whole and what gaps do we have in each function that we need to fill. Next, we need to become a learning organization, which means we need to promote and facilitate learning and development of all employees across the sector. So First thing we need to look at is the Deming cycle, which I have pictured here in the top right of the slide. This helps you guys access planned actions and effects. So it integrates the organizational learning into planning. So it comes in 4 stages. First is to plan or determine our course of action. Then we need to do the plan, implement the plan into the organization, check and monitor the results after we've implemented it, and then we need to act. In other words, we need to revisit what was learned, how do we modify the plan, and we need to restart the cycle, do it all over again, so we are continuously improving ourselves. And that's why it's a nice little circle, because it never ends. This process is continuous over the lifetime of the company. And some of the benefits is you're going to start facilitating that continuous learning, building that culture of continuous learning, and allow everyone in the organization to be able to adjust the plans based upon the feedback that we're getting. Shown at the top of the slide is our current functional structure. So we have Bert, Ernie, Grover, Betty, and Oscar each managing their own function. One of the problems we discovered is there is a significant overlap between all the functions, and employees are confused as to who they actually report to. Decisions take a long time since all 5 of the function chairs are involved in every decision in the company, regardless of how small. So one suggestion I'm making is to pivot and introduce a CEO or president to allow for faster decision making, as each of the functions leads can then focus solely on their function, align their own resources, and start working towards goals with alignment and purpose. The CEO or president will help decrease the overlap and inefficiencies among the functions, ultimately increasing profits. The only thing more important than structure is culture. Culture is going to shape how your team will respond to challenges and adversity, and how your team will function on a daily basis. So a few cultures, as you're reshaping, you should think about and consider is a market culture that's going to emphasize value, competing, achieving goals, and driving results. They have an external focus versus a hierarchy culture that emphasizes efficiency, process control, organizational improvements, and technical experience. And that has more of an internal focus. So depending on what type of market you're trying to reach and how you want to structure your company, consider the types of cultures that exist currently and how you can incorporate them into the organization. As a manager, it's also important to develop inclusion strategy, which really means that you're going to accept feedback with an open mind and really develop that emotional intelligence that is needed to connect with your employees. So when collecting feedback, you need to be able to reflect on that feedback, develop a path forward, and then take actionable steps to implement improvements. If people are giving feedback but not seeing any type of improvement, they're going to be upset and forthcoming with their information moving forward. And then with developing emotional intelligence, you need to be available for employees. They need to see you're actually a human being and someone they can talk to and reach out to and bring their problems to. You also need to be able to accept and embrace diversity and work on building long-term relationships with employees. And you need to train employees for that long-term sustainability. You need to be training and bringing on people as if they're going to be here for a long time, and that's going to help develop the company in the long term. One topic we discussed earlier was having a clear chain of command and reporting system. So however we do that in terms of structure and culture, once we have that in place, we really need to invest and develop the team itself. So you need to understand the needs of the employees, build that trust, seek that feedback, and then when we have all that, provide the support that the employees need further down the road. And this is super important, especially in each individual function. Each leader of the function should be able to develop and build relationships with the employees in their individual functions. And that'll also help reiterate and show that clear chain of command and reporting system. Now we're going to discuss management plans and a few options moving forward that are things your organization can work to implement. The first is creating a clear line of leadership for information flow. And we could do this by being open and encouraging two-way communication flow. Earth Coffee can also encourage managers to give updates to employees on company direction, expansion, and goals. This will allow for faster communication and decision making, allow for employees to have more input and stake into the company, and create clear goals for everyone. The second management plan is to implement a hybrid of a market and hierarchy culture. This will incorporate the customer-focused and risk-taking aspects of a market culture, along with the clear structure and processes of a hierarchy culture. And that'll create a functional culture fit for Earth Coffee. So this type of culture will allow the company to continue to expand and react quickly to the market while being able to maintain constant quality and processes across any and all expansion. The last management plan is understanding the internal and external factors that affect the organization. You have internal factors such as culture, leadership style, or the mission, and all these things can influence the organizational activities and the employee behavior. And the internal factors are things that we can control as an organization. We also have external factors we need to be aware of, such as our customers, our competition, technology, resources. And these are things that we need to monitor and adapt to on a daily basis. And we need to be proactive about the changes and becoming an environmental scanner. We need to be able to scan these environmental effects that are coming at us and practice a SWOT analysis, understanding our strengths, our weaknesses, our opportunities, and our threats in the market. Practicing these things will help set us up for success in the long run. So finally, I have a quick overview of the things we discussed and our opportunities you guys have ahead of you. So the first is to create a clear leadership structure. Then we have a goal alignment of the company values and mission, becoming a learning organization, create an inclusive and competitive culture and structure, and then align management to your company goals. So all these things that we discussed here will help you in the future. So I really appreciate you hearing me out, bringing me in, and giving me your time here today. So thank you and best of luck.